Women were not born to satisfy and please the desires of men. I want to say that one more time. Women were not born to please and satisfy the desires of men. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I, in my own life, have studied and continue to study the nature of the evolution of a soul. And one thing I feel deep within myself to be true, that in terms of the soul, the most important thing is being true to one's self in each and every moment, to be authentic to one's true self, true nature in each and every moment. And this goes beyond gender, this goes beyond men and women, this applies to all beings. Generally speaking, it applies to all beings. And so tying it back to this paradigm of women and men, the reason I'm sharing this is because I can clearly see that in Western culture, and I can only really speak for Western culture because I've never really lived outside of Western culture. In Western culture, I've seen so many themes and so many social pressures that basically tell women that they cannot be, it's not okay to be authentic to themselves, that they are obligated to or should give in to the desires of, men or their man, because that's what's most important. There's a lot of unnatural themes built into these patriarchal systems, if you ask me. As an intuitive and empathic person, I still see the evidence that these social pressures exist. And it feels important to my heart and my soul to be a voice for authenticity, a voice for anyone who feels the discomfort and even maybe emotional pain of not being true to oneself in the moment, of giving in to pressure, giving in to obligation, when the inner voice, the inner stillness, the intuition, the inner knowing says, no, whatever I'm being asked to do right now doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel right to me to give into and please someone else in this moment out of an insecurity or out of a fear that they won't love me. I feel more and more and more that people are going to feel in their own beingness, in their own body, the discomfort of being inauthentic, even the emotional pain of being inauthentic. And so I'm simply sharing this message. I felt called to be a voice for this message that we are entering the age of, we're already in it, we're in the age of authenticity. And again, this applies to each and every being. It goes beyond gender. I feel that more and more and more in each of our journeys, life will show us the result of being inauthentic to ourselves. Again, the phrase that's coming to me is even the emotional pain of being inauthentic to ourselves. Authenticity is key. Being true to self in each and every moment is key. So essentially what that comes down to me in my interpretation is that if something is being asked of any of us in the moment and it just doesn't feel right to us in that moment, it feels like a no, honor that inner voice, the intuition, the inner knowingness is saying no. I feel that so many of us are going to continue to see this play out in our lives. This theme of watching what happens when we don't honor ourselves, watching how uncomfortable things can get when we don't honor ourselves in each and every moment. This is a moment by moment, choice by choice thing. And it feels very important for me to speak this, to voice this at this time. And again, I felt the need to speak to this specifically in the paradigm of women and men because, again, looking at how society has structured itself over the past few thousand years, I see the pressure, the obligation, the expectations that have been placed on women, throughout the millennia. And to me, as I feel into my own beingness, my own intuition, my own inner knowing, these pressures, these obligations, these expectations are inauthentic to the true nature of free will in the universe. Free will means that each being gets to listen to themselves, gets to listen to their own heart, their own intuition, their own knowing in each and every moment. And from that place, they'll either hear a yes or a no, or at least a not right now. And so it feels very important to me just to be, again, a voice for those who are ready to listen to themselves, who are ready to free themselves from all of these social pressures, obligations, expectations, and to just experience the freedom of really honoring oneself in each and every moment, and each and every moment going forward.